good life, full of fun.
Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Big day today. Very excited. Why? I'm glad you asked. We're gonna make creamed spinach with a little, you know what I mean? Forget about it, a little Italian kick. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. So, one of the things when I was a kid, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times your parents would say, hey, you gotta, you eat your spinach, and it never really tasted that great. I don't know about, how you guys like spinach, but one of the ways you can really make spinach unhealthy is adding cream and butter and all these other stuff we're gonna add to it, but it makes it absolutely delicious. So I wanna share with you a great recipe how to make cream spinach, like I said, with some Italian flair and a little extra cream and something that's absolutely so delicious that I don't care what child you put that in front of or what adult, they're gonna love spinach. So let's get started. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna start with a big pile of healthy, green, fresh baby spinach. Isn't that beautiful? So this is about 24, 25 ounces of spinach. So just to give you a heads up, okay? Obviously fresh and raw, it's all cleaned, ready to go, all right? So we wanna cook the spinach down, is what we're gonna do on one section, and on the other pan, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a cream sauce, and then once everything's cooked, we're gonna combine the two, and I'll tell you what, it's gonna be a combination of brilliance and deliciousness is what it's gonna be. So what are we gonna add to it? We're gonna add a little chicken stock. So a lot of times, again, you'll see recipes and they say add water. I'm definitely somebody that says don't add water. Always add flavor. Step it up a little. Add something that's gonna give you something really delicious to your palate, right? So we're gonna add a quarter to a half a cup, give or take, of chicken stock. All right, and we're gonna use that to cook down the spinach, just to kind of get some moisture in there to get it cooking down. We've got 1 cup of heavy cream. All right, we've got a clove and a half or so of garlic. That is good. And see how I chopped it a little coarse? I always like it a little extra coarse. And I'll tell you why. It's one of those ways to weed out friends. If someone says, ooh, I got a big chunk of garlic in my food, and they start complaining about it, why are you even friends with that person? You know what I mean? They should be like, wow, I got a big hunk of garlic. Yeah, that's the person I want to hang out with, all right? Because you're having garlic too, so who cares? We've got right here about 1/3 of a cup of Asiago cheese. I love Asiago. It gives you that kind of Romano plus like a cheddar. It's really good. And then we've got about 1/4 of a golden onion, okay? 1/4 cup of a golden onion. Now, one of those other great cheeses to add that brings you right back to Italy, and this is a mascarpone cheese right from Italy. Oh, mascarpone cheese, I heard some people say it's similar to cream cheese. It's not similar to cream cheese. It's so much creamier, so much denser, so much richer. Oh, it's good. And we're gonna use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. And last but not least, my secret ingredient, nutmeg. Oh, a little bit goes a long way. I call that a breath. It's probably about 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Gonna be great. And then we've got salt, pepper, and then olive oil. Oh my gosh, where can you get a great thing of olive oil? A nice liter or half a liter? I'll tell you right where. My shameless plug, Vito and Joe's. For some of you guys that don't know, we own a farm, olive grove in Italy near Puglia, and Puglia gives you the best olive oil. It's a richer, grassier, earthier flavor. So this is right from either our farm or from a couple of farms right near us. Just an absolutely delicious olive oil that we share, that we certainly use in our cooking, and you can buy it right on our Facebook, or you can go on Amazon, or you can go right on our page, Cooking Italian with Joe. Grab yourself a liter of olive oil. Absolutely delicious. Great thing for the holidays. So now that I've done my little mini commercial, let's get started. So I'm gonna get the 2 pans going, all right? So I've got 1 pan here, which is larger. I'm gonna put the chicken stock in, right? So let me open that up. I'm gonna throw our chicken stock in. And I just wanna warm that up. That's all I'm gonna do. And just put it on really light, okay? Then what I want is I got this pan going over here, and this is where we're gonna do that cream sauce. So again, I wanna put it on a really light heat. It might help if I do the right burner, right? This guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't even know what burner is. And this is really easy. I'm gonna do my butter, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is my onions and garlic. Now, just to give you a heads up on garlic will cook faster than an onion. So if you're gonna cook if you're gonna cook the onion down a lot, then you always wanna put your onion in first before you put the garlic, okay? But in this case, we're gonna basically saute them, get them translucent. We're not gonna really cook them down a lot, so you can put them both in the same time. And then I'm gonna grab some Vito and Joe's extra virgin Italian olive oil. And maybe 1/3 of a cup tops, okay? And then I'm gonna add a little bit of a splash of olive oil, just a splash. you know, a couple tablespoons to my chicken stock that I've got going over there to get the spinach going. So this is going to start to saute nice and slow. And nice and low on the heat, okay? Perfect. Now I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way for a minute. And the not so fun part, what we want to do is we want to cut this down. So again, you don't want to have a cream spinach with a big hunk of spinach, even though it's gonna cook down quite a bit. You'll be amazed at how, once you start to break the fiber down and the moisture down, there's not a whole lot of spinach left, okay? So this seems like a lot, but it's actually not a lot. So I'm gonna cut this down. So let me show you one chunk here while we're filming, all right? And, you know, maybe a third of a slice. Oh my God, did you see where my friend? I'm just kidding, I was just joking. And we're just having a little fun here. Now, wouldn't it be funny if I really did cut myself? All right, so we're gonna cut this down. So you're gonna cut it, like I said, maybe a third of the size of the leaf. That's all. You don't wanna cut it down too much, all right? And that's it. So I'm gonna cut this down really quick. I'm gonna manage my heat, make sure everything stays nice and slow. And then I'll tune right back with you guys when we're ready to rock, all right? Talk to you in a minute. We good?
Keep it clean, man. Keep it clean.
We good?
Hang on. You're good.
All right, guys, you ready? So I've got this sauteing, right? So my onion, my garlic, my butter, my olive oil, and you just want to get those down. And I have it on a really low heat, and then I cut down that spinach, see? So I cut down the spinach about a third to a half, okay? And real easy, I'm just gonna put this in. Now this is gonna cook quick. So watch how much volume this takes up, right? And you think like, oh my God, Joe, what are you doing? That's so much spinach. And you know, you're definitely gonna, I got a couple pieces that jumped out here because it's so fresh. And then, whoa my God, there's like 3 pieces. And you're thinking, wow, there's so much in there, but I'm telling you, there's really not. So watch, so I'm gonna get all this out. And I'm gonna let that cook down. Let me grab a few of the pieces here. What I'll do is when I shut the camera off, I'm gonna grab the ones that got on the floor and I'll put them in the pad. I'm just kidding. And then you're just gonna cover that up, right? And cover it up for like about 2 or 3 minutes. And then you'll mix it up. Cover it up again 2 or 3 minutes. So no more than 10 minutes. I'd say 10 minutes tops, maybe 12. This will be done, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on that cream sauce and get rocking, all right? All right, guys, so we've got this melted down really nice. I'll tell you just a little trick. A lot of times, sometimes the heat management's tough. And if you start to see something burning too quick, maybe burning is the wrong word, but browning too much, just pull it off the heat. You know, you can bring it over on something that's a little cooler. I've got a granite countertop, which are nice. You can set it right on the granite. You can put it on a burner that's not on. And that just allows it to cool down so you can control your heat a little bit better. Okay, because sometimes you get these burners that are as low as you can, but I noticed in here, hey, a couple things are browning a little bit faster. So this is almost right where I want it. I'm gonna go just another minute or so. Got a little bigger piece of onion in there. I'll tell you the smell. You take onion, garlic, and butter and olive oil, that base smell, almost like a sofrito, as they say in Italian. Oh man, if that doesn't just fill your kitchen with great smells, so great. Just brings you right back to childhood, at least me anyway, so. All right, so I'm gonna cook this down, give it another minute or 2, I'll tune right back with you guys. All right guys, this is cooked down, it's almost perfect, so come on in right real quick so you guys get a good feel, a good picture of this. Isn't that great? I had 2 cups of coffee this morning, so I'm a little wound up, but oh, that smells good. Okay, so you see how nice and translucent they are? You know, so they're not white. You can see through them. You can almost see the pan through it, okay? So now, real easy, I'm gonna add my mascarpone, which is gonna be my first one, and then I'm gonna add my Asiago, okay? And again, you want now the heat to be very low. You do not want to heat it too much because what will happen is you'll break apart. If you start to cook the proteins within the cheese or the cream, if you ever hear that, they'll say it starts to break apart or it'll start to coagulate. You can get that back, usually just by adding a little liquid, but the problem you'll have there is, you know, it starts to throw you off. That's why a lot of times they'll use a bechamel sauce, but in this case we're just gonna add a little bit of that cream and cheese. So I want all of the cheese to be melted, and I'm gonna pull this off just because I want to make sure my heat stays nice and low. And don't worry that it's not all mixed in beautiful yet, it will. So that mascarpone cheese gives you that depth of flavor. It gives you a creaminess without a tang. The Asiago gives it a little bit of a punch, all right? And then once I put that cream in there, everything comes together. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, that's melting. I'm just gonna check our spinach. So, look at that, beautiful. We're just gonna keep cooking that down. See how it's starting to come down? And we're about, I'd say, halfway there. Because once it starts to hit temp, it goes really quick. So I'm just gonna give that a little stir. All right, so I'm gonna bring this back. We're having fun now. Now I'm gonna add that cream, okay? I'm gonna add it nice and slow. And we're essentially done right now with this sauce, okay? And I'm gonna mix this really well. You know, if it could have one little extra flavor, oh, I know, nutmeg, oh my gosh. Ooh, that's good. And, you know, you just put I always call it breath of it. It's like a, you know, you hear a pinch. And again, nutmeg or that allspice or certain flavors are so strong, a little bit goes a long way. So you just add a little bit. Not even so you can say, wow, there's nutmeg in there, just so you can give that little bit of a deliciousness, a little bit of that flavor, a little bit of that rustic taste. Adds to the aroma. And now I'm just gonna, over the heat, just really slow, and you're gonna see now, if you can come in really quick, see how it's all starting to mix together now? That cream just brings everything together, right? So you see how the butter is starting to mix now with the cream, and then the cheese is starting to mix with the cream. So you don't really need to necessarily make a roux here. Sometimes I find a roux makes it a little too thick, and I don't want it thick like that. For me anyways, my taste. So one little side note on a nice little dish you can do, you take cream spinach, you put it in like a ramekin, and then you put a little cheese on top, and then you put it in the oven so the top gets nice brown and crispy. Oh, that's a great way to serve it. Or in this case, you can just put it on as a side dish. So we're basically done. This is beautiful. Oh, it's got such a beautiful flavor to it. So now I just want to give it a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. And then I'm going to pinch of salt, you know, maybe a half of a teaspoon in this case. And just sometimes people always talk about whether you're using salted butter or unsalted butter. There's no problem with either. If you're using an unsalted butter, you get to control the salt more. But if you're using a salted butter, just know there's salt already added. So you want to do a lot of tasting before you add any salt. That way it just doesn't overpower your dish. So I'm going to just stir this in. I'm going to pull it off the heat because I want it warm, but I don't want it hot. Again, I don't want to break apart that beautiful, oh, that beautiful cream. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so we're perfect there. And then we're going to check our spinach. So come on right over here and look at that. See, oh my God, Joe, you started with so much spinach. Look at that. See, it's all cooked down. Isn't that nice? See, and we added flavor with our stock, right? Look at that. Isn't that perfect? So I'm going to give it one more stir. So we're done. This is done right now. Okay, so I'm going to take that off the heat. I'm going to pull this off to the side. I'm going to put this back on the heat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cook down. I want to just get it a little bit, just a teeny bit thicker. Okay? Which is almost right where I want it to be. And in this case, I don't want to take all that sauce out of the spinach because it'll be too watery, okay? So real simple, I'm just gonna hold the spinach up to the side of the dish here. I mean, you could strain it, but you know, and then you start, isn't that perfect? And then I'm gonna take my spinach and put it right in the cream sauce. And that's just absolutely delicious. Now, another thing you can do with cream spinach, cooking Italian with Joe Italian style, is Eggs Benedict. We're actually gonna make a video today on Eggs Benedict, so be sure to, if you're an Eggs Benedict fan, make sure you take a look at it. And we're going to use the Eggs Benedict as a base, I'm sorry, the cream spinach as a base for the Eggs Benedict, which is going to be absolutely delicious. So just something else, you know, a couple ideas you can do with cream spinach, and we're set. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this, you're just going to let it come across in the cream. Now I always like to, everything's hot, so with it still hot, I just want to make sure everything is incorporated. See how the cream sauce is starting to thicken? My mouth is watering. I gotta tell you, the smell of this is unbelievable. I love spinach. So the thicker this gets, and it'll just take a minute, the thicker this gets, the more it's going to cling and adhere to the spinach. Whoa, holy mackerel, it's so fresh, it's splattering all over the place. I'm going to let this cook down just for a minute or so and thicken up, and then when we're done, my favorite part, plate it and eat it. I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Are you guys ready for deliciousness or what? So I let this go just a couple extra minutes. I just wanted to get that cream cheese sauce just a tad bit thicker, right? And then I'm just going to pop it right in my bowl here. Oh, sorry, I know I'm blocking you. Look at that. And then you got the Asiago cheese, little bits of garlic and onion. Oh my God, look at that sauce, look at that. Isn't that just absolutely delicious? Absolutely perfect. And I'll tell you the smell of that. Look at that, see it right there in the bottom, the little Asiago? I gotta taste that. Oh. Absolutely awesome. So that is Cooking Italian with Joe, cream spinach Italian style. And you can see the little bits of garlic and onion and cheese and cream. Oh, that is good. So I'm gonna get a spoon. We're gonna put that right in our ramekin. Magic of TV here. So typically you can serve it just on the side of a plate. You know, a spinach, cream spinach really goes well with like a chicken or a red meat, really well with that. Or like we're gonna do an Eggs Benedict. So like I said, this is one of the nice ways to serve it. Isn't that like great? So if you can get in there really quick, look at all those little bits of deliciousness. See that? And you can smell the onion, the garlic, the butter. You can't really smell the nutmeg. I know what's in there, but oh. All right, you guys ready to taste this puppy? Mmm, that is good. You got the little bits of onion and garlic. You can smell the olive oil, the spinach, the cream. Oh, that's good. This is hot. Now listen, I'm gonna share a little story with you guys. We tried to do one of the tastes earlier and it was so hot I almost burned the inside of my mouth. So we had to reshoot here for a second. I put it in there, I was ready to talk. I was like, oh my God, I don't know whether to call 911. My camera person thought it was funny that I got wounded in our taste test of our cream spinach. Mmm. Okay, we're better, we're safer now. Mmm. Mmm. That is so absolutely delicious. And the spinach just melts, and it literally melts in your mouth. And you've got that, like I said, that butter, garlic, onion, the cream. You can't taste Asiago, but you know you can taste that little bit of kick. You know, that little bit of Italian kick in it. Mmm. Oh, God, that is so good. Mmm. Wow, that is good. Guys, such a great recipe, something simple, something easy, quick, and I'll tell you, such a great compliment, such a great side dish to anything. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today, certainly allowing me to share my heritage and my traditions with you. Don't forget to check some of these recipes out. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to grab yourself a bottle of olive oil. It makes a great Christmas gift coming up on the holidays. And guys, have some fun with your family in the kitchen. Until next week, bon appetit.
The good life.